Good evening, everybody. Sam Dog, the infamous 253, coming at you with Dallas Stewart on the speakerphone. Dallas, how you doing?
Pretty good.
Yep, week four in the books. I went 10-5-1, and Dallas went 9-6-1, and now we are ready for the week five picks of the 2025 NFL season. First off, we got the San Francisco 49ers going to SoFi Stadium on Thursday Night Football to take on the Los Angeles Rams. The 49ers lost their first game of the season to the Jacksonville Jaguars, and boy, did they bring it. And man, I think the 49ers defense, they look lost without Nick Bosa. Granted, they still have Fred Warner, but they look lost without Bosa because Bosa was the core of their defense.
Yeah,
Yeah, man, San Francisco, I cannot believe what I saw. Jacksonville, don't sleep on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Devin Lloyd had a big game with a couple interceptions and a sack. Eric Armstead got major revenge on his former team with that strip sack. Meanwhile, the Los Angeles Rams, crazy fight with the Indianapolis Colts. They pulled it out at the end with Stafford's longest touchdown of his career to Tutu Atwell. And the Colts, man, that crazy idiot number 10 just had to celebrate too early. He bobbled it and lost it in the end zone for a touchback when he had a walk-in touchdown. You never celebrate too early, and I would say that's the main reason why the Rams won that game. But I picked the Rams last week in that game anyways, but at least the Rams did lose to Philly the week prior to that, like you were saying in the red
yeah,
zone stream. But regardless of that, I'm going to take the Los Angeles Rams to hand San Francisco their second consecutive loss in back-to-back weeks. So give me the Los Angeles Rams.
yeah. Give me the Rams as well to get to 4-1. There's just too many question marks with San Francisco right now, and they're still pretty banged up on both sides of the ball. I just favor the Rams a little bit more right now, and I think that loss a couple weeks ago to the Eagles is really going to fuel them, and
Yeah,
I think they're going to go on a run.
yeah, probably. Oh man, and yeah, teams on the bye this week are the Falcons, Bears, Packers, and Steelers. Since now there are bye weeks, so I looked up to see which teams are on the bye, so I could put it on the pick list, so we know who's on the bye. All right, up next we got the first London game. We got the Minnesota Vikings coming from Dublin, Ireland, where they took an L to the Pittsburgh Steelers to take on the Cleveland Browns, who got absolutely rolled by the Detroit Lions. Both these teams coming up of losses. Browns, man, well, they were facing Detroit, let's be real. And then Vikings, I'll tell you, they almost pulled a comeback, but the intentional grounding penalties and just not having enough time. Carson Wentz got it together in the second half with the plays of Jordan Addison, but that Pittsburgh Steelers defense was just way too much for Carson Wentz to handle. Cleveland, it's Cleveland. I'm taking Minnesota to get a bounce back win in London before they head back to the States. So I'm going to take the Minnesota Vikings. Game is at Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah, give me Minnesota as well to get back above 500. Uh, Cleveland's still really bad. I don't know how they beat Green Bay a few weeks ago. That might be one of their very few wins this year.
And probably every Cleveland Browns fan of the win of the year.
Yeah,
Yeah. All right. Up next, we got the Dallas Cowboys going to MetLife Stadium to take on the New York Jets. The Cowboys ended in a tie with the Green Bay Packers and Micah Parsons homecoming. Like I said, they need to get rid of that tie rule, man. It's just lame that they have to have games end in a tie, but get rid of that, man. We want to see someone win and someone lose. Meanwhile, the New York Jets got pistol whipped by the Miami Dolphins last night. Granted, the Dolphins did lose Tyreek Hill for the year, and Justin Fields had a nice little touchdown run, but there's a reason the Jets are 0-4. I know Aaron Glenn saying it's not the same old Jets with how good the defense was playing, but the Jets being 0-4, yeah, they're still the same old Jets, and the Jets are about to be 0-5. Give me the Dallas Cowboys to come back off of that tie and get a win in MetLife. I'm taking the Cowboys.
yeah, give me the Cowboys as well to bounce back from that tough tie last week. The Jets are just they're a mess. They committed 13 penalties last night. They just look so undisciplined. That score wasn't as close as it appeared. And yeah, the Jets just look like they might have, like they're going to have a top five pick in the draft this year.
Wouldn't be surprised if they do. But then again, It's the Jets. Same old Jets. All right. Up next, we got the New York Giants going to New Orleans to take on the New Orleans Saints. The Giants with Jackson Dart, his first ever start, get their first win of the season over the undefeated Los Angeles Chargers, handing them their first loss. And meanwhile, the New Orleans Saints, if it wasn't for that blunder on that trick play trying to recreate the Philly special for their own and getting picked off by the Buffalo Bills, they were really hanging in there with Buffalo for a majority of the first half until the Bills were just able to pull away. That was the surprise last week, is that the Saints were able to hang around with Buffalo, especially after the way that we absolutely destroyed them back in week 3.
Yeah, I was surprised they hung in there as long as they did.
And man, Jackson Dart, a rushing touchdown. Cam Scatterbo looking pretty good, and I was really impressed with how Jackson Dart came out there in his first start. He was killing it in that game for the Giants.
Yeah, this is kind of a toilet bowl for week 5.
Yeah, but the way I like the way Jackson Dart's playing, and rare pick here. Give me the New York Giants to hand the Saints their fifth consecutive loss and knock them to 0-5. I'm taking the Giants.
Yeah, give me the Giants as well to make it 2-0. They looked inspired last week in Dart's first career NFL start. It sucks that they lost Malik Neighbors for the year, but the Saints still have a horrendous offense.
Big time. But man, you gotta give him credit for hanging in with Buffalo for most of that game, though.
Yeah,
All right. Up next, we got the Las Vegas Raiders going to Indy to take on the Indianapolis Colts. The Raiders, tough battle, almost came back, but a field goal blocked and fell to the Chicago Bears. When they fell to the Bears at home, and Geno threw 3 interceptions. Thank God we traded them, by the way. And the Indianapolis Colts, man, like I said, if not for that blunder by number 10, the receiver, celebrating too early, they would have had a good chance to beat the Los Angeles Rams. So the Colts suffered their first loss of the season. Give me Indianapolis to bounce back though and take it to the Raiders at home in Lucas Oil Stadium. I'm taking the Colts.
yeah, give me the Colts as well.
Easy pick.
Bounce back from that tough loss to the Rams last week. The the Raiders just look like a mess. Not a good first 4 games for Carroll, but yeah, too many question marks with the Raiders.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just been the same thing with the Raiders for as long as we can remember.
That was a winnable game they had against the Bears, and they screwed it up at the end.
Yeah, but also Geno throwing 3 interceptions doesn't help either. All right, up
Yeah,
All right, up next, we got the Miami Dolphins going to Charlotte to take on the Carolina Panthers. The Dolphins getting that big first win of the season against the freaking New York Jets and the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers freaking got absolutely destroyed by the New England Patriots in our split of the week. Dolphins winning at the cost of Tyreek Hill's ACL and leg. Hopefully, prayers for a speedy recovery. He's in the hospital. Just had a surgery, so let's see how he looks. He could possibly miss games in 2026, or who knows what the timeline for Tyreek Hill is. But the Dolphins really just took it to the Jets, and Darren Waller had 2 touchdowns in his first return to the NFL. Darren Waller now on the Miami Dolphins, 2 touchdowns in his return. Meanwhile, Carolina just absolutely putrid and got absolutely shredded by the Patriots. But give me the Miami Dolphins to go into Carolina and get the W. I'm taking the Dolphins.
yeah, give me the Dolphins as well to make it 2 in a row. I think I'm done picking Carolina this year. They've burnt me twice. In week 1 and then last week against New England. I thought that was a winnable game, and they just don't even show up after the week before shutting out Atlanta 30-0. It just makes absolutely no sense. So I don't know. I don't know if I'll pick Carolina again this year. Maybe when they play New Orleans.
Maybe, yes. That would be
Maybe.
one of the other few toilet bowls that we get us.
But I think this is my toilet bowl for week 5.
What, Dolphins and Panthers?
I would say so. That and the Giants and the Saints.
Yeah. All right. Up next, we got the Denver Broncos going to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles. The Broncos handled the Cincinnati Bengals with ease. The Eagles, man, they were pulling out all the tricks out of the trick bag against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers early. Granted, they let the Buccaneers get back in, and the Eagles ended up winning that game 31-25. But man, when it looked like they were going to do a brotherly shove, they freaking pitched it to Saquon. Saquon walked in with ease, and another play where Jalen Hurts did an underthrow to Dallas Goedert, like a bowling ball like throw. Dallas Goedert took it in for a touchdown. Goedert had a big game for the Philadelphia Eagles, and it was just crazy. And then when the Buccaneers started getting hot, it was on that big play to Emeka Ibuka for that big touchdown, and he's going to be a threat. And way later, because we play Tampa this week though too. But Philadelphia going into this game against the Denver Broncos at home, Eagles still rolling in. I think the Philadelphia Eagles get to 5-0, so I'm taking the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, I would take the Eagles as well to get to 5-0. I'm really liking what I'm seeing from their offense right now. I think it's going to be too much for Denver's defense to handle. But I do. I think this would actually be a pretty good game.
Yeah, I hope it's a good game. I mean, one it could have been primetime material, much like our game too. But, whew, all right. Up next, we got the Houston Texans going to Baltimore to take on the Baltimore Ravens. Both teams 1-3. Texans got their first win of the season. The Ravens got killed again by the Kansas City Chiefs, and this time Lamar Jackson out for a couple of weeks with a hamstring injury. So Cooper Rush is going to have to be the guy, looking like, because the Ravens have to play the Texans, and then next week they play the Los Angeles Rams, which they could be without Lamar Jackson for their game against the Rams, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
For Baltimore.
they're not, and they're definitely not good for the Texans. Looking good for the Texans either. This is really, but Cooper Rush,
Two disappointing teams right here, no doubt about it.
But regardless, even with Cooper Rush starting, they still have Derrick Henry in their backfield, and we know Derrick Henry is going to have a field day. So just with Cooper Rush, I think this week I just got to still give the edge to the Baltimore Ravens here. So I'm going Baltimore in this game at home against the Texans. So give me the Ravens.
I'm gonna go Ravens as well, but don't feel that good about it with no Lamar. Texans didn't really prove anything to me last week. They beat the worst team in the league, in my opinion.
Yeah, shut them out too. And speaking of which, we got the worst team in the league next with our next one. We got the Tennessee Titans going to Arizona, taking on the Arizona Cardinals. Like you mentioned before, Titans are indeed the worst team in the league.
In my opinion, they are. That's just so abysmal.
Got shut out by the Texans 25-0. Meanwhile,
they have not scored more than 20 in a game yet this year.
Yeah, and then meanwhile, the Arizona Cardinals, you know what happened. Took care of our business. Pottsville curse haunted them at the worst possible time after they tied the game with that squib kick that Ryland attempted, just landing half a yard short, putting us on the 40 for us to hit JSN and run Charbonnet to use our final timeout to set up Myers for the redeeming 52-yard field goal to win the game. Disappointing loss, but this is pretty much a cupcake for the Cardinals. So, and you know what? As a matter of fact, give me the Arizona Cardinals for my lock of the week.
Yeah, I got the Cardinals bouncing back, getting to 3-2. This will be a nice get right game after a really tough loss last week on Thursday Night Football. The Titans are just a trash can. They really are.
Are you gonna lock the Cardinals?
Yeah, you know what? Lock them up. I'm locking up Arizona.
Yeah. That was pretty much an easy one because this is a cupcake for Kyler Murray, and man, their defense better really get after Cam Ward, Calais Campbell, and freaking Josh Sweat better get after him. Granted, they have some injuries in their secondary, and their offense, Trey Benson and DeMarcado better run all over them. That's all I got to say for that too.
Mike Callahan gone.
Yeah. All right, up next, we got our game, the 50th anniversary game, because both these teams are going to be wearing their throwbacks. We got Tampa Bay Buccaneers coming to Seattle to take on the Seattle Seahawks. I will be at this game. I will be wearing my throwback jersey because 50 seasons, and both teams wearing throwbacks as they should because Seahawks and Buccaneers entered in the league the same year, 50 years ago. So it's fitting that Buccaneers are wearing the road creamsicles for the 50th anniversary. Baker Mayfield, tough loss to the Philadelphia Eagles, almost brought themselves back, but Now Bucky Irving is listed as questionable. Even if he plays, he won't be 100%. The Buccaneers have just been ravaged with so many injuries. I was watching Seahawk Brendan Nelson's video talking about it earlier. Meanwhile, obviously, we really should have blown out Arizona last Thursday, to be honest. Should not have been that close. I mean, our defense, we just took our foot off the gas, and so did our offense with, I mean, and we also got to clean up the penalties like that Kenneth Walker unsportsmanlike conduct when we turned third and short into third and long where we had to settle for where we had to end up punting, which took us out of field goal range. And then the BS Kobe Bryant not being down after the interception, and of course the JSN holding call, which, like I said, thankfully we were able to have Chad Ryland mess it up the kick off, and we got it at the 40 to go down and get the win in the final seconds of the game to avoid overtime. But Buccaneers riddled with a bunch of injuries. Seahawks are actually the favorite here, 2.5, and with the 61, I think 61% of is picking Seattle in this one when I checked the ESPN thing. But I'm not going to take Tampa Bay lightly. They're still a threat.
Yeah, neither am I.
Yeah, but other than that, though, regardless of it, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the Seahawks to get it done at home. I think it'll be a close battle. Maybe we squeeze it out with a last second Jason Myers field goal, unless we can make Baker Mayfield make mistakes. We are 2-0 against them all time because we beat him in 2019 when he was with Cleveland. We beat him in 2022 when he was with the Rams on your birthday in week 18 of 2022. I think the Seahawks can go get it done. We can shut down Emeka Ibuka. We can shut down Chris Godwin. Those are the two threats. If we can limit them, and if we can make Baker Mayfield make mistakes and turn the ball over and cash them in for sixes and get up on them early, then I think we got a good chance. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the Seahawks.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Seahawks as well. I think they do just enough to get it done at home, and I think the home crowd plays a factor. And yeah, it's gonna be a battle, but I really do think we can get it done at home, and we can hopefully get pressure on Baker Mayfield and make him uncomfortable and make him make some mistakes. And them not having Mike Evans, I think, is going to play a big factor in this game.
So we got to look, no Mike Evans. And then, of course, we got to look out for Bucky Irvin if he's going to be 100% because, he's listed as questionable right now. And then they also got Rashad White, who killed us in the Germany game back in 2022. So,
Mike Evans is usually done good against us.
yeah, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. So,
He had the only two touchdowns against us in that 14-5 game in like 2016.
yeah, I was furious during that one, so don't remind me of that. But yep. And then I remember he was getting after us in that game in 2019 where we got the revenge on him when DK had the big touchdown the game after overtime.
34 overtime shootout.
Yeah, where Jacob Hollister had the game-winning touchdown.
Yeah.
All right, let's get on to the next game. Oh, you know what? Well, I'm probably going to have two locks on this one. Up next, we got the Lions taking on the Bengals. No need to explain what happened to the Bengals against Denver last night. Detroit, big win against the Cleveland Browns. I'm going two locks here. Give me the Detroit Lions with another lock of the week.
Yeah, give me the Lions big. You know what? Lock them up for me. The Bengals look absolutely horrendous without Burrow. I think 76-13 the last two games without Burrow. Their season's done. I'm calling it right now.
Yeah.
Even after 4 weeks, they're lucky they're not. They're lucky they're not 0-4. They got really lucky to win those first two games against Cleveland and Jacksonville. They just look so lost without Burrow.
Agreed. All right, up next, we got an interesting one. We got the Washington Commanders going to SoFi Stadium to take on the Los Angeles Chargers. The Commanders losing to the Atlanta Falcons. Falcons bouncing back big after getting shut out by the Carolina Panthers a week prior. And yeah, I mean, Commanders are really missing freaking Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin big time, as we were saying in the Red Zone stream. Meanwhile, the Los Angeles Chargers got their first loss of the season to the New York Giants in Jackson Dart's first game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what is the status for Jaden Daniels this week?
Oh no, but man, their defense looked really bad last week.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what the status is for Jaden Daniels this week. Why don't we check out look up Jaden Daniels' status for week 5. status for week 5? Because I haven't really been looking like that. Look, Jaden Daniels has missed the past 2 weeks, but is expected to return week 5 versus the Chargers. All right, just hit that up on Google. So it looks like Jaden Daniels is expected to be back for the Commanders. We don't know about the status of Terry McLaurin yet, though. So, Commanders fans, if you're in the comments, let me know. But Los Angeles Chargers taking their first loss of the season after winning their first 3 against division rivals, and the Commanders taking another L ever since they lost to the Green Bay Packers, where they lost Jaden Daniels, and this time Mariota could not finish the revenge gauntlet against his former team. But man, whew, this is going to be a good one in my opinion if Jaden Daniels is back.
Yeah.
Um, but when in doubt, like Yinza says, when in doubt, go with the home team. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take the Los Angeles Chargers to bounce back. No, wait, they still don't have Khalil Mack, so never mind. I'm actually if Jaden Daniels is back, I'm taking Commanders. This is a tough one though.
I'm gonna take the Chargers to bounce back.
We going split again back to back week.
Yeah, because I don't know the status of Jaden Daniels, and if he does play, I think the Chargers are they're pissed, probably falling for a trap game against the Giants and a rookie's first start.
Yeah, but the big negative for the Chargers is I think they're still without Khalil Mack.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna go. Let's just do the split. I'm gonna go Commanders because if they have Jaden Daniels back, I like them in this one. But the only thing killing the Chargers is no Khalil Max, and then the Commanders were able to run the ball. You know, I mean they still had a good running back with Rodriguez, but clearly missing Jaden Daniels was big time, and Mariota just. But all right, I'll give him the shot on this one. We'll go split again, and we'll see how we do this week.
Yeah.
1-1 on splits because the Panthers Patriots won. But all right, up next, we got the New England Patriots going to Buffalo to take on the Buffalo Bills. The Patriots, as I mentioned before, absolutely destroyed the Carolina Panthers, and the Buffalo Bills. That was just crazy how they let the Saints in around, but ultimately they pulled away in the end. I'm gonna take the Buffalo Bills to get the 5-0.
Yeah, I'm going to take Buffalo as well to get to 5-0. I expect an overall better performance out of Buffalo this week. This might be a better game than a lot of people think it's going to be. And when the schedule came out, week 5, you saw this on Sunday Night Football, and you're like, oh, this is just going to be an annihilation. I don't really think that anymore, but I got to go with Buffalo.
Yeah. All right, and then last but not least, Monday Night Football. We got the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars down in Duval, down in Jacksonville. Chiefs got a pretty convincing win over the Baltimore Ravens, and the Jacksonville Jaguars win in the Levi Stadium and stunned the San Francisco 49ers. This is low-key going to be a good game, man.
Yeah, I would say Jacksonville, biggest surprise so far.
Oh yeah, big surprise at 3-1. But what helped the Chiefs big time last week was them having Xavier Worthy back.
Yeah.
And when did they get Rashee Rice back from his suspension?
I don't know, but the Chiefs actually look like the team that won back-to-back Super Bowls.
Yeah, do they really start getting it rolling? I mean, I'm not going to sleep on Jacksonville because, they look great against the San Francisco 49ers. Granted, the Niners look absolutely lost on defense without Nick Bosa, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the Kansas City Chiefs to go into Jacksonville and get a big win on Monday Night Football and make it 2 in a row. Give me Kansas City.
Yeah, give me Kansas City as well to make it 3 in a row after that 0-2 start. Maybe they're starting to
Heat up.
hit their stride. People were burying them way too early.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, though.
I never count out Mahomes and Andy Reid.
Nah, but I'll tell you what, though. It'll be interesting to see what Trevor Lawrence and Liam Cohen bring in this game too, especially with how good the Jaguars defense looked against the 49ers. This will be a good game. I would love to see if Jacksonville can pull it up.
Rematch of the 2022 AFC Divisional where the Jaguars actually took them down to the wire.
Yeah.
But came up short.
Yeah, big time. All right, and there you have it. Those are our week 5 picks. We got Rams over Niners, Vikings over Browns, Cowboys over Jets, Giants over Saints, Colts over Raiders, Dolphins over Panthers, Eagles over Broncos, Ravens over Texans, Cardinals over Titans with a lock, Seahawks over Buccaneers, Lions with a lock over the Bengals, I took the Commanders. Dallas took the Chargers. That should be a good game, but I still don't, like I said, Chargers not having Khalil Mack and the Commanders getting Jaden Daniels back will be pretty huge. So that will be an interesting game to watch for sure. Then we got Bills over Patriots and Chiefs over Jaguars. And the teams on the bye this week are the Falcons, Bears, Packers, and Steelers. So lower numbers this time around now that the byes are starting to come around.
Yeah, how many games this week?
One, two, three, four, five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 games. 14 games.
13 games.
Yeah. All right. There you have it. I'm about to sign on out on this one. Catch you guys with the recap for the Seahawks game after, of course, player interactions before the Seahawks Tampa Bay Buccaneers game. And yeah, drop your picks down below in the comments and let us know what you think. And signing out. And as always, go Seahawks.